Okay. I'm gonna wait for someone to come in real quick so I can explain what just happened. And it's the most annoying thing that has ever happened. Okay. Alright, one person in. Let me explain the craziest thing that just happened right now on my last stream that was like 2 minutes ago. I got copyright striked for using my own voice. I was just talking. There was no music, anything in the background. I'm just talking. I get copyright striked, and my stream gets taken down. So either YouTube is the dumbest thing ever created, which it might be, or someone copyright striked me that saw the stream, and I want to find out which one it is. So. My last stream just got copyright striked, and I am very upset. It got copyright strike for no reason. I was just talking. It literally makes zero sense. 0 cents. I'm talking, and I get copyright strike. I mean, I don't know if my vocal cords were copyright striking someone. Anyway, I'm just continue on with the stream. Okay, so the next thing I was going to talk about was the Eagles. By the way, if you're watching the stream, feel free to leave questions and stuff and interact with me. That's kind of the whole point of it. So just feel free to do that. Anyway, my next thing I'm going to be talking about is the Eagles drafting Jalen Hurts. And there's been a lot of mixed comments about this pick. I don't really think they should have got him in the second. It makes sort of sense because I guess they're trying to think, well, we need a solid backup because Carson Wentz gets hurt a lot. If that's what they're saying, which it's true. So it does make sense. But then again, Carson Wentz is like 26, I think, 27. He's 27. So drafting a quarterback in the second round just isn't really helping him out a lot, you know. And although they did get a good amount, they got Rager. I think they got another receiver in like the third round and also another one like the fifth. So they got on some help. It's just I don't see why they. Like I said, I see that he because of the injuries, but I still don't think that's a good reason. You don't draft a quarterback in the second round because your starter's injury prone. You just get a good backup, not someone. Second round is for drafting starters, not backups. So that's what I'm saying. And then the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the best landing spot for Cam Newton. And I think that the best landing spot for Cam Newton is with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And a lot of people don't talk about that as his landing spot. A lot of people talk about the Patriots and the Jaguars and other teams. First of all, the Jaguars have Gardner Minshew. They're not signing him. It wouldn't make sense. They have a rookie quarterback who's developing, who played well last year. It would not make sense to sign Cam Newton. 0 cents at all. I don't get why people are pushing that. And then the Patriots. They don't have the money. I don't know how people are just tossing that aside, that they can just sign it. They don't have the money to sign Cam Newton. It's simple as that. And then also, I don't think Bill even really wants him. He wants to see what he got in Stidham, who he drafted last year in the fourth. Why do you draft quarterback and then you get ready to start it? Why would you not even want to see what he wants and what he's got? So I don't. Neither teams. They don't really make sense to me. Steelers make sense to me. Here's why. Big Ben just got off an injury. We don't even know how healthy he is. He could not. He could be like Cam was the year after he came off his injury. And, I'm fine. He wasn't really fine. It could be like that. We don't know. But even if he is fine, he's one more injury away from hanging it up. He's getting up there in age. His play is declining. Shoot, even if he doesn't get injured, this could be his last year. It would make sense for Cam, and it would make sense for the Steelers for him to sign with them and sit for a year under Ben until he hangs it up, because I doubt he's going to play more than a year, and definitely not more than 2, and he probably get injured. He's getting up there in age, and once you get injured, it's likely to happen again. So I think that'd be a good landing spot for him. But maybe actually the best thing for him to do is not sign with anyone before the season starts, and just wait till a team needs a QB after something happens to their starter, and then boom, he's a starter. Maybe he doesn't want to sign at all, because that's not a bad strategy if that's what you're trying to do. And then my next thing I'm gonna be talking about is Gronk to the Bucks. It's cool that he's being reunited with Brady, but a lot of people are overhyping this. The dude has been out of football for a year. He was wrestling like a few months ago. He's not. At least I don't think. I can't say this for a fact, but I'm like, if I was betting him, I would definitely bet that he's not the same Gronk that he was 2 years ago, and even then he wasn't the same Gronk he was 2 years before that. So I don't really think he's. I feel he's kind of washed. Probably, it would not surprise me if he came into Tampa and was just an average tight end, or maybe a little bit above average. I do not expect him to be the same Gronk that we saw 2 years ago or any time before that. I don't. So I think people are overhyping this a little bit. It's cool he's back with Brady, but I don't think it's going to be the biggest difference in the world. And then my thoughts on all the new unis. So the Browns, Falcons, Buccaneers, Patriots, Chargers, and Colts, Colts only had a little bit of an alteration, all released new uniforms. I feel like I'm forgetting. No, I'm not forgetting so much. I think that the Chargers easily had the best uniforms, followed by the Browns. A lot of people are saying the Browns' uniforms look the same. No, they didn't. They looked like the ones they had in like 2010 to 2015, not the ones they had like 2016 to 2019. They did not look like that. They looked way better. Like their classic uniforms, they looked really good. I like those a lot. Even though they're pretty simple, they're not brand new. They're still the same idea that they've had of classic uniforms. I like those a lot. And then the Chargers, man, the Chargers are just amazing. I really like the numbers on the helmet, and the color scheme was really good. Tampa's uniforms were nice. They had it's once again not a new idea. They're a lot like their early 2000s uniforms, but I like them a lot. They looked good. They looked better than their last ones, and that's all. That's the goal they're trying to accomplish. The Falcons uniforms did not look good. They had a big Atlanta on the chest, which didn't look good. The gradient looks terrible. It looks like a XFL uniform. It does not look good. The Colts only had slight alterations, so I'm not going to really talk about that. The Patriots pretty much just switched their color option. I didn't like it. It doesn't look good. The stripes don't look good. The shoulders don't look good. I'd say it's still a little bit better than the Falcons, but not by much. And then in terms of what QBs, like rookie QBs, I think we're going to have the most success in the league. Okay, well, first year, I don't expect Tua to start. So for first year, I'd say Tua's going to be last because I don't think he's going to start. And with Love, obviously, because Love's not going to start, or Eason. But the QBs that will start, or Hurts he's not going to start. Burrow, Herbert, and I think Herbert might not start right away. Taylor might start right away. But Burrow's definitely going to start, and that might be it. So first year, I mean, it's going to be Burrow, I think, even if Herbert starts. But then, in terms of long-term success over a career, I'm saying that Burrow has the most success. Maybe a little biased there because LSU fan, but no, I don't think so. Burrow's going to have the most success. Then Tua. Then I'm actually saying it's around the order of their pick, kind of, at least for the first. Then Herbert. And then actually, I think Fromm is going to have the fourth most success. So, and then after him, I think it's going to be Hurts, then Eason. Then Love, then Eason. I'm not high on Love. I said that earlier. Love is not an amazing QB to me. He's a project QB. Although Green Bay probably can develop him, I don't think he's going to be all that. Although I could be wrong. I could be eating crow in like 2 years or 3. No, he's not going to be starting in like 5 years. And so that's those are my thoughts on those topics. I didn't really have an idea for many other topics, so I'm going to rely on chat for a second to give me some things to talk about. Just type it in the chat. If you can, I'll come up with something to talk about. All right, well, while I'm waiting for that, I will talk about my predictions, division winners, each division. I will start off with the AFC East. I think the division winner for the AFC East is going to be the Buffalo Bills. They came very close last year when Tom Brady was still the quarterback for Tampa, so I think they're going to get it this year when he's not. I think that in the AFC North, I'm saying the Ravens win it again. Lamar's been really good. Even if he does start a decline, I don't think it's going to be this year. And then in the AFC South, this is where it's close. But I'd have to say it's the Titans. The Texans traded away Hopkins. The Jaguars just lost a bunch of players. The Colts, they have a shot at it. The Colts definitely have a shot at it. So does every team in that division for real. They have a real chance. But I'm saying the Titans take the division. Then in the AFC West, I have the Chiefs taking it. They have Patty Mahomes. That's really all that needs to be said. It's not really anything that's too complicated. I don't think it's going to be a close race to that division. The Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, they're going to continue their hot streak. Then over to the NFC East, I'm saying the Cowboys take the division. It's between them and the Eagles, and the Cowboys just had a much better – The Cowboys just had a much better draft. So it was very close last year. I think the Cowboys built up better in the offseason. Actually, I think they did much better than the Eagles in the offseason. So, and then they got a new coach. I think they're going to take the division. Then in the AFC North, NFC North, I'm saying that the Green Bay Packers win the division. And same thing, although they had a really bad offseason, a terrible draft. So maybe they don't, but I still think they have enough talent to win it. Just without adding a lot of pieces. I think it's going to be close, but I think they're going to take the division. Then in the NFC South, a lot of people, hype up the Bucks. They're high on the Falcons. Most people just aren't high on the Panthers. They're high on the Saints, Falcons, Bucks, because all the talent they have on the roster. But I'm saying it's the Saints that take the division. Obviously, there's going to be bias there, but they have the best. I'm going to stop saying they. I'm a Saints fan. We have the best roster on paper, and it's we've proven more than all those other teams. So I'm saying we take the division. Then in the NFC West, this is a tough one. All teams have a legitimate shot at it. The Cardinals had an amazing offseason. The 49ers just won the division last year. They definitely could win it. The Seahawks definitely could win it. The Rams definitely could win it. All those teams could win it. But which one will? I'm going to go with a long shot here, and I'm gonna say the Cardinals win it. They finished. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Drew. Good. Um. Well. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm saying the Cardinals win it, and this is just because they had an amazing offseason. Kyler Murray is progressing. He's getting a lot better, and they stack their whole team. It's very close in this division, all the teams on paper at least. But I'm saying the Cardinals are going to win it. I think their offense is very explosive, and they're gonna put up some points on some teams and be very explosive. So those are my division winners for next year. Hoping we have a season next year. But I guess I'll say the wild cards too, because I don't have anything better to talk about. So the wild cards, I'm saying that. Okay, I'll start with the AFC. I think that the Browns get a wild card. I'd say the Colts get a wild card. No, not the Colts. I don't think the Colts get a wild card. I think even though I say the Patriots get a wild card actually. So even though they lost Tom Brady, I think Stidham can do some. He can do some good for them. I don't think he win the division, but they still have an amazing defense. I don't think Stidham's that bad. I think they'll be able to get a wild card with them. And then I'd probably say that the other team to get a wild card would be the Broncos. Drew Lock showed a lot of promise last year, and I believe that he can. He went 4-1, beat some really good teams, so I believe they can take him to the playoffs. I don't think he won the division because it's a super tough division. The Chiefs are in this division, and he's not Patty Mahomes, but he's good. And then in the NFC, I would say that the Vikings get a wild card. They had a pretty good offseason. They lost Diggs, but they got some nice pieces. And then I'd say that the Seahawks get a wild card. And I'd say the 49ers get a wild card. Actually, no. I'm going to replace the Vikings with the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers, Seahawks, and 49ers get a wild card. The West is stacked. I think 3 teams make it. And remember, 3-team wild card. So that'll be fun, I guess. It's interesting, at least. Watch the Saints be the team. Watch them go 13-3 or something, or 14-2, get the 2 seed, and then still have to play. Not going to buy because of this new thing. That'd be so classic. Because the Saints actually, there's been only 3 teams three 13-3 teams to ever play on Wild Card Weekend. 2 of those teams were the Saints, the 2011 Saints, and the last year, the 2019-2020 Saints. So that would be very it's gonna happen. I know it will. And then as far as who I think has the best Super Bowl odds, of course I'm Homer, so I'm gonna say that the Saints obviously have great Super Bowl odds, so I'm gonna say them for the NFC. And then for the AFC, I'm saying the Chiefs. Again, they didn't lose any of their talent. They still are. They got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, an absolute beast at running back. So it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be another repeat to the Super Bowl to them. I'm not sure they're gonna win it, but if I had to guess to the AFC, I think the Chiefs go back to back and go to the Super Bowl. So. What else? What are some topics to talk about? Okay, I can talk about draft winners and draft losers. Okay, easy. Draft losers, the Green Bay Packers. They did not have a good draft. They didn't. They did not get one receiver. They didn't really fill the needs at all. They drafted. So they made it to the NFC Championship last year. What do? They're 1 game away from the Super Bowl. What do? They draft for the future. Rebuild. Why do you rebuild or draft for the future, whatever they want to call it, when you're 1 game away from the Super Bowl? That's a terrible philosophy. It's not good. They're a draft loser for sure. Drew likes Packers pick for the future. Well, I don't think it was a good pick because while they're gonna need someone to replace Aaron Rodgers, he still has 4 years left, whatever you want to say, and they drafted now 1 game away from when they were 1 game away from the Super Bowl. It does not make a lot of sense to me why they would do that when they have obvious needs like receiver. They need a wide receiver too, and they didn't get one. So I'm not a fan of that pick. And then this happened when Brett. Yeah, I know it happened with Brett Favre too. Not to say it will, but history can't. Yeah, I know it happened with Brett Favre. And I guess people have the same reaction to it. But I don't think Jordan Love is Aaron Rodgers. He had his interception touchdown ratio. I believe it was something around 20 touchdowns to 18 interceptions or something. He almost had more picks than interceptions. It was he didn't have results in college. Now, he did play at Utah State, so he did not have good receivers. But he also is a potential player. They're not drafting because he did so good in college. They're seeing his potential. He's a big arm. He can make all the throws, and coaches like that. So they're drafting him based on what his measurables and stuff are, and they're thinking we can work with this and we can make him into a quarterback. So Green Bay will have to turn him into something good if they want to do that. Anyway, back to some other stuff. Draft winners. I'm saying the Broncos are draft winners. They got some really, really good offensive weapons. They got Jerry Jeudy with the 15th pick. Ruggs went for him. I still don't really know why. I think the Raiders just like fast players. Then after they got KJ Hamler as well, and they got some other receivers too. They got Drew Lock a whole lot of weapons. It should be fun for Drew Lock, and he'll have all the weapons at his disposal, and it's all on him to make this happen. I think he can. He showed a lot of promise last year. Went 4-1 as the starter at the end of the year. Beat some good teams. So I think they're definitely draft winners, at least to me. The Jets are definitely draft winners too. They got Denzel Mims way late. Way late. So what they did was this was in the second round. Yes, the second round. They had the 11th pick or something in the 7th round. They traded back into the second. Pretty far back. I can't remember who they traded with, but it was far back. It was like somewhere late 20s. I think it might have been at the Ravens. And they needed a receiver. Denzel Mims, who they probably would have picked right there, fell all the way to 28, and they got him. Not to mention, they got a great offensive lineman at the 11th spot. So it's not a deal of who got the best player. To me, more it's the deal of who got what players at what spot. What was the value of the pick? And they got great value for their picks each round. Ravens are also draft winners. They got Patrick Queen, J.K. Dobbins. They got J.K. in the 3rd, I believe. I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty certain it was the 3rd. No, it might have been the late 2nd. I think it was late 2nd. But so they got Queen, Dobbins. I don't necessarily remember who else they picked. I'd have to look it up. But they got good picks, especially for where they were, and just good picks in general. More draft losers. I'd say that the Eagles are draft losers. Not like super losers, but they're definitely not winners, I don't think. They passed on Jefferson and drafted Rager at 21. Yeah, 21. And then they drafted Hurts in the 2nd. And I know that Wentz gets hurt a lot, but you don't draft someone to be the backup in case your starter gets hurt in the 2nd round. You usually draft people to be starters then. So unless they plan on doing something with Wentz for some reason, which I really doubt they do, and their coach Peterson No, not their coach. Their GM and stuff has said he doesn't really have plans for that. So it seemed like you were drafting him for that purpose. One thing is that also you have to be prepared for your quarterback or just any player in general in this upcoming season for the possibility that they get coronavirus. It's something that I didn't really take into account, but it's a truth. So they could get coronavirus, and then after they get coronavirus, they're out, and they didn't get injured or anything, but so there's nothing you could have done to prevent it. But you need a good back in that case, and I guess that's what the Eagles are going for. So it depends on how it works out. If Wentz gets hurt again, which he probably will because he seems to always get hurt, then I guess this isn't a terrible pick. But I still don't see drafting someone to be an emergency quarterback or whatever in a second round. And then if I had to give label one more team as a draft loser, I really don't know who I'd label as the draft loser. I'd say maybe the I don't know. So I'll leave it at those two. On a new topic, I'd say the best free agent signings, top 5 free agent signings. Obviously, Brady's up there to the Bucs. I'm not going to rank them. I will rank them, but I'm just going to say them first, and I'll put them in order. So Brady signing to the Bucs is obviously a really good one. Shoot, the Saints getting Emmanuel Sanders is a good one. I'm not going to count re-signings because that's not really. I'm talking about people who got players who weren't already on their team. So I'd say another good signing was the Dolphins got some really good players, and I'd say that when them getting Byron Jones was a very good signing. And then another give me a second. I'd say another good signing was I'll get back to it. I can't think of it right now. Y'all give me some topics to talk about, chat. Because I'm kind of blanking right now. Okay. What can I talk about? All right. So I guess I'll just continue talking about the signings. I'd say that some of the best signings, the Falcons getting Gurley was a okay signing. Here's the reason. Gurley's a good player. I'll just break this down. So Gurley's a good player, but his knee arthritis and knee problems in general, they have really slowed him down. He hasn't been the same player since that he was in 2017, 2018. Because his knee is it's killing him. And it's sad because that's always the case with running backs, and they're super talented, but they're so replaceable, which is really sad because, they work their butt off, but it's the case. So that's the case for that. And then also, I'd say that a good signing was I don't know. I will get back to it. Chat, give me some talk to talk about it. I'm blanking. Let me see. Stay with me for a second, chat. Okay. Oh, I got one. Okay. Worst team in the NFL. Y'all type who y'all think is the worst team in the NFL next year. I'm gonna say, the Jaguars could be it, and that's not because of Minshew. Minshew's a good quarterback. That the media disrespects them for really no reason. They were so high on him last year, like, oh yeah, Minshew mania. They were riding the whole thing. Now all of a sudden they act like the Jaguars don't have a quarterback. But it's not because of him. They really have a lot of holes. Their whole team left them in the offseason. So that really sucks for them a lot. So I'd say that I don't. Yeah, Drew thinks maybe the Jags too. It could definitely be them. It could be the Jags. Some other teams it could be. It won't be the Bears because their defense is really good. Their offense will be lacking, but their defense will hold them up. Shoot, it could be the Redskins. The Redskins, it could definitely be them. It depends on how much Haskins develops, but it could definitely be them. They did get some good pieces though in the offseason. In the AFC North, it could be possibly. No. I was gonna say the Steelers, but I don't think so. It's not gonna be the Steelers. I don't know what's thinking there. It's probably gonna be the Jags are I'm saying it's Jags. It's the team I'm thinking of. I don't really see any other team being it, so I think the Jags will be the worst team in the league next year. Although, here's one thing though. It's usually never the team. The team that you think is going to be the worst team in the league, it's usually never that team. Unless it's the Browns, because for that stretch when they were just awful. But they're better now, and I think they'll have a good year with Baker. I think he had some problems last year, but I think a lot of that's to do with coaching. I'll talk about the Browns for a second. So, a lot of people, they want to dog on Baker and blame a lot of the season on him for their what they finished 6-10, yeah, for their season, how they finished 6-10. But I don't think he's the main one to blame. I think that the coaching staff is, which is why they got a new coach, is to blame because they would not call the plays that were catered to Baker. They would call what they wanted to, and that wasn't Baker. It wasn't Baker's style. They called deep passes, which is not Baker's style at all. It's really just not Baker's style. So he's best. This one he's best at. Baker's best when he can get the ball out of his hands quickly. It doesn't matter what if you can get the ball out of his hands quickly. That is when Baker is best, and a lot of that actually has to do with his height. So Baker is 6 foot, which is below average height for a quarterback, although still tall for a regular person. And so when he is doing, when it's a deep pass, he'll take a 5-step drop like you're supposed to, or even a 3, but it's a 5-step for a deep pass, which is usually so. The way he does it, he wants to avoid interior pressure getting in his face, because if he does, then they can just swat the ball down, or he won't be able to see. So pretty much, he takes a super deep drop, and he doesn't really step up too much because he wants to avoid the interior pressure. Now the problem with that is, so here's the D line. The further you get back, the easier it is for the speedy DNs to go around, and the harder it is for the offensive linemen to block and get out, because they can get a better angle the deeper you are. So with that, since they kept calling deep passes and the way Baker's drop it is, the DNs were just feasting on him. They were just eating up the they were breaking through the blocks and just stacking Baker over and over again, which is the main reason why they didn't have a lot of success like many people predicted in last year. So that's the coaching is definitely, I feel like, the reason why the Browns weren't as good, or just didn't even make the playoffs, or had a winning record. I think that's definitely the reason. Another thing is that I'm going to talk about the Chargers. Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert. Who's going to start? So let's remind something. People, they drafted in the first round. Herbert's going to start, obviously. I don't think so. Not originally. Not right away. Because when Taylor was with the Browns, and the Browns drafted Baker first overall, he started the first two games. Tyrod Taylor did, and then he got hurt in the third, and Baker came in and he started the rest of the season. That's how it went. So I think that Tyrod Taylor is actually going to start the first few games until he either doesn't do well anymore or he gets hurt. Whatever one it is, I think that Tyrod Taylor is going to start out the season. Now the question is, do I think he'll finish it? No, I don't think he will. I think something is going to happen. I think he'll play longer than 2.5 games like he did with the Browns. I think he'll play probably around like 6 or 7. Something's going to happen. Either they just want to put Herbert in. Maybe Tyrod's playing decent. Maybe they're like 4-2 or 3-3, and Tyrod's playing decent. But they want to see what Herbert's got, so they put him in. Or Taylor gets hurt. That's definitely a possibility. I don't think Taylor will stink it up, but I think Taylor will start out the season for the Jags. And then for the Pats at QB, Hoyer or Stidham. I think it's Stidham easily. I was very surprised that the Patriots did not take a quarterback. I kept expecting them every single time they traded up to pick Jake Fromm. They traded up. You know what they did? Drafted a kicker. Traded up. You know what they did? Drafted a tight end. Traded up. You know what they did? Drafted another tight end. So I got to the point where if they traded up or just got to their pick and Fromm was available, I just no longer expect them to take Fromm. I no longer expect them to do the thing that was expected. So I think that sends the message that they're confident in what they've got, and I don't think it's Hoyer. I think it's Stidham. They drafted Stidham 4th overall in the 4th round last year, and they want to see what he's got. That's the case. Hoyer's not going to start. He won't, not even for a game, I don't think. And I think Stidham will do just fine. And then here's something to talk about. I can't believe I didn't think of this. Trubisky and Foles. Trubisky and Foles are having as the GM is saying, or it might have been the owner, and it was the owner, I think, an open quarterback competition. Foles and Trubisky. Who do I think is going to start? I'm saying that Foles starts. And it's just because Foles has won a Super Bowl. I think Foles is the better quarterback, honestly. But Foles did not have a good showing in Jacksonville at all. So I really don't know. But if I had to guess, I think that it's going to be Foles who wins the starting job. And I think that's just because, he has more experience. He's won a Super Bowl. And Mitch has had a shot with the team. He wasn't able to – he was last year. Okay, he was last year. But 2 out of the 3 years that he's been there, he wasn't able to lead them to a winning season or to the playoffs for that matter. So I think that Foles will win. They probably biased him because they actually signed him and gave him the money, and then they traded for him, and he has more money in his contract than Mitch does. So I definitely think Foles already has the advantage right now, and I think he's going to outperform him too. So I think Foles gets the starting job, and I think that is that. I just realized I'm all talking about the NFL. I'm going to start talking about college. So I will say here are my top 5 teams who have a chance of winning the national championship, college football national championship next year. Clemson, Ohio State, both kept their quarterbacks. They both have very good chances. LSU, they lost a bunch of players, but they still have Coach O, who's a great recruiter. They lost Brady, but they still have Ensminger, who's calling the plays. Brady was just a passing game coordinator. And so I think that LSU will be fine, especially since obviously there's bias. I'm an LSU fan. But Miles Brennan, when he was given his chance and limited playing time at like the end of games, he showed promise. He showed that he was going to be good. Our receiving core is going to be absolutely deadly again. We have Chase, Marshall, and then Racing McMath is also very good, and he showed that in his limited playing time last year. And sometimes not even that limited. Sometimes he's got playing time, and he played well. So we're going to have a great receiving core again. I expect our O-line to be good. Our defense is going to be good. We still have Stingley. We still have some linebackers, some of our D-line. We didn't lose everybody. We just lost some players. So I think LSU is still definitely going to be a top 5 team. Alabama's going to be a top 5 team. They got the number 1 quarterback in the nation coming over there. And even if he doesn't win, Mac Jones is good enough to take him there with that team. So I think they have a shot at it, definitely. They always do. You cannot count Alabama out. And then I'd say that Oregon. No, not Oregon. I'd say probably Oklahoma. They always, I don't like being stale and just, saying the same things over and over again. But that's the most likely prediction. The only team that gave him a run for the money last year was Baylor, and they lost their best player and some other good players. I'm not sure if Brewer's coming back. I will actually check real quick on the stream. Is Charlie Brewer returning? Because if he is, then maybe they do stand a chance. I still don't think they're going to be a top 5 team. Yeah, he is. But it was okay. So what it was, he didn't declare for the draft. He was a junior, by the way. I don't know if he just went on draft or something. He has had concussion after concussion, so I don't know what the case is going to be with that. They lost Mims. That was by far their best player and receiver. So I don't think Baylor's going to be a top 5 team. But I'm going to have to say Oklahoma will be. And I don't know how good Oregon's going to be because I just don't know if they're going to be any good after Herbert leaves them. I don't know who their next man in line is, so I can't say Oregon. I'm not sure who the other team might be. It could be a Big Ten team. It could be Penn State or Minnesota or Michigan. Any of those, Michigan State, although they were really bad last year. But any of those teams, another SEC team. It could be Florida. Easily, Florida deserves to be in there. Here's why. Kyle Trask played amazing last year, and he's still there. He's returning, and that was his first year. That was his first year playing. First year, full year as a starter. What I mean, and so he did that good last year. Expecting to improve after he's already had experience. So they're definitely in it. I don't think Georgia's going to be that much in it. Fromm's left them. They've lost a lot of players. But I'd say Auburn has a pretty good chance though. Nix is getting better, So they have a young quarterback. They have a young team all around pretty much. So I think that they didn't lose too many players. They lost their best defensive lineman, Derek Brown, but I think they'll be okay. They might have a shot at it. So all those teams have a shot at it, in my opinion. If I were to say what team is going to win what division, they're not the conference. I'm saying that obviously bias is going to come here. LSU wins the SEC. Big Ten, Ohio State wins. ACC, Clemson wins. Pac-12, I really have no clue, but I'd say Oregon because they're just based off past experience and past experiences and stuff. And then Big 12, I'd say Oklahoma wins it. So those are the teams I think are going to win the division. Their conference, not division. And so that is that. I know I'm saying that is that a lot. I'm trying to think of some topics to think about. Um, okay, I did a video on this. I did. Okay, so make sure you check out the video where I did the draft grades. Okay, yeah, good idea, Drew. Thanks. Okay, so the new playoff format. Here's my opinion on it. I have mixed feelings. It's gonna be fun and not fun at the same time. Here's why it's fun. If your team is the first seed, you get to watch another playoff game. Hooray! If your team is any if it's the second if it's the second seed, it's super not fun because you were supposed to get a bye and now you got to play on wild card weekend. And even though it shouldn't be a challenge, it probably will be. So that sucks. And I'm pretty certain. I just have a strange feeling that the Saints are going to be the second seed, and they're going to have a great record too. They're going to be like 14-2 or something, and they're going to get the second seed. So I guess my overall opinion on it, in terms of just watching it as a non-fan of any team, I'd say, oh yeah, great, because now we get an extra playoff game. But as a fan of a team, especially a playoff contending team, it's not so great because there's more competition. You got to play another game because of the Super Bowl. So that's my opinion on the new playoff format. And then I'll talk about the extra game too, which is coming next year. Not next season, but the season after that. They're adding a 17th game. 17th, there always were 17 weeks, but you play 17 games. This I have a problem with. Here's why. Stats. Records. It's going to be... Okay, I know it's only one more game, but still, it's not fair to the people who held the original records. And I know they did that. They expanded it from 14 games to 16 games. So I know that it's not always been like, it's always been perfect. But I feel like they shouldn't have changed it. There was really no reason to. So that's my opinion on the new game. I'm not really happy with that one. The playoff format's mixed feelings. If my team is not in the playoffs, I'll say this. If the Saints don't make the playoffs, new playoff format will be fun. If they are, and we're not the 1 seed, not so much. Unless we're the 7 seed, then that's amazing. All right. I'll probably switch over maybe to talk about, I don't know, maybe even another sport. Or shoot. I didn't know none of y'all watch boxing, but just I guess I'll talk about it right now. The Deontay Wilder fight. I think that I don't think Deontay Wilder would have lost that fight if he didn't get knocked in the eardrum and I forget, it's not called something. Equilibrium. That's what it's called. It makes he busts his eardrum, which messed up his equilibrium, and that caused him to lose his balance in the fight, and so he wasn't able to fight as well as he usually does. He wasn't throwing as many punches or anything. He was disoriented. So I think if that hadn't happened to him, I think it would have been a much better fight, and he easily, he could have won it. And I think in their rematch, he might win. I don't know. I think that's my opinion on that. Back to football. I'll talk about some Saints signings that I never touched on. The Malcolm Jenkins signings and the Emmanuel Sanders signings. I am happy about the Malcolm Jenkins signing, and I'm ecstatic about the Emmanuel Sanders signing. It's just so Malcolm Jenkins. I'll get to Malcolm Jenkins signing first. So he's we didn't really need it, but our secondary could in the past game use some help because our run game defense is fine. So And Marcus Williams isn't the problem, but neither was Von Bell, really. We just had to let one go. And I think I'd rather let go Von Bell than Marcus Williams. Even though Marcus Williams did have that boneheaded play in the playoffs, he's still an amazing player. So Malcolm Jenkins is an amazing safety. He's great in coverage. And he's not a top tackling safety, but he can still do it. And he's like, I think PFF had him as their highest graded pass safety and pass defense. So this will definitely help our problem that we have in our secondary. And so I'm very happy with that signing. Now the Emmanuel Sanders signing is very good, and here's why. So, I mean, obviously we need a wide receiver too. We got it. Emmanuel Sanders is a great wide receiver too. He's very experienced. You know, he's old, but he still has tons of speed, and he has great hands. He sure doesn't show his age, especially with that speed. So he'll be a great deep threat. And even if not a deep threat, he'll be a great guy for run after the catch. So I'm very happy with this signing. It'll be very good for us. We'll actually Mike T won't have to do all the work. He'll have some help. So Brees will have another target, and actually with this, Traquan won't be going up against cornerback against cornerback number twos. So he might actually get open. So if that's the case, then we'll have 3 good weapons, which is amazing. And that's just receivers. Jared Cook, and which is in the Adam Trotman video, which I explained in my draft grade video, which you should go check out. So both them are amazing pass catchers. Neither of them are amazing blockers. They both can do it, but they are amazing pass catchers, like big tight ends. So Brees will have all the weapons in the world next year. And then Kamara will be healthy too. Kamara was not healthy last year, and I feel like that really hurt us because with the run game and everything. And then now, so we have an interior offensive lineman. We can probably run the ball better now, even though that wasn't O-line wasn't necessarily a problem with that. So this will be very good for us. I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream very soon. I'm nearing around an hour, but this was fun. I would probably touch on one more thing or so. Or maybe not. I don't know. Okay, I'll touch on this. I'll touch on how good I think that Burrow will do with the Bengals in his first year. So, obviously he's going to start in the first year, especially since they cut Andy Dalton. And I think that Burrow is going to actually do a lot better than people are saying. People are acting like the Bengals are the Browns, or the Browns 2 years ago. They're not. They've, in terms of success this decade, they're like 11th in terms of like total wins. They're not that bad. I don't know why everyone is acting like they're terrible. Although, actually, I think I do know why. I think it's because of this reason. Burrow was guaranteed to be the number 1 pick. And so the media started hyping, I'm not sure if hyping is the right word, but they started talking about the Bengals as this terrible team and how Burrow would not want to go to that team and he might hold out and refuse to play for him because they wanted to have some drama and make it seem like, oh, maybe Burrow doesn't want to play for him. Something like that. Also, there's some news on Andy Dalton, so that is good. The Cowboys have signed Andy Dalton. All right, this is something big to talk about. This is a good signing for them. Before I say that, let me look up the contract details. Y'all stay with me. Okay. Here is it. Because the Cowboys signing Andy Dalton, he gets $3 million guaranteed and can earn up to $7 million. Okay, I'm guessing it's a 1-year contract deal, and that's a good deal for the Jaguars. He can earn up $7 million. He's not getting that right away though. But so $3 million guaranteed. He's a good backup. Andy Dalton is not a terrible quarterback. Andy Dalton will definitely be a at least good mentor for Dak. So unless Dak gets hurt, he won't get any. He won't see the field, but he can at least teach Dak, some stuff about the game. He's been there. He's been in the business forever, and so Dak can definitely learn from him and improve. And so this is a good sign for the Cowboys. Definitely, I like the signing. I like the signing a lot, especially since their backup was Cooper Rush. I don't really think, no disrespect to him, but I don't necessarily think that dude's like the ideal backup or anything. I haven't seen him, I haven't seen him play or anything, but he doesn't seem like the this amazing backup. But I was actually expecting him to sign with not the Cowboys, and if anything, I had seen something on my phone earlier, and that's why I actually went to check it because I thought there might have been some news about him. But I have expected him to sign with possibly like the maybe the Jaguars, as their backup so he can mentor Minshew, or as the backup to any of the young quarterback teams for that matter. The Redskins, be a mentor for them. So I'm surprised that the Cowboys signed him, but I think it's a good signing. So I think that's a good signing. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the stream now. It's been about an hour, so thanks you for sticking with me, guys. Peace.